Hi, my name is Tori and I would like to thank you for coming to our presentation today. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day and listening to us. So, let's begin. Our topic is what the workplace will look like in 2030. It's 12 years from now, so yeah, it's a long ways. But doing all the research we did and coming up with the topics that we did, I would like to introduce my team members. Brytan will be talking about what the workplace will look like, and Cameron will be talking about what the technology will be like how it'll change, how it'll help us, and how it'll affect us. Then we have Jay. He'll be talking about the crisis of 2030. Now let's get started. We're really going to explore what 2030 is going to look like. Let's jump on the ship and see where it takes us.
Peace up, A-Town down. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hey everybody, today I am going to be talking to you about the technology in the workplace of 2030. Now, manufacturing is going to take off using artificial intelligence. Businesses are going to be using virtual reality to have remote meetings, remote environments in the office, making work life a little bit more easier and a little bit more satisfying for the employees. We're also going to be talking about how manufacturing is going to take off and how we have endless limits using 3D printing. Artificial intelligence will make a more manageable future. Now, you may be wondering what it means to be more manageable.
No, not really.
Well, let me explain. Artificial intelligence is not going to take jobs from us. They will more so take tasks away from us so that the working class can fit more important human interactions or more important activities that need to be taken care of done. In 2018, there was more than 16 million robot vacuum cleaners in the household. In 2030, our vacuum cleaners are going to become garbage collectors, window cleaners, office vacuums, you name it. Our custodial field is going to be so much advanced and it's going to be awesome. The automotive industry has been playing around with the artificial intelligence in factories all over the world. Now they have really opened up the world's eyes to create a future of artificial intelligence to push forward and create the most amazing cars out there. Artificial intelligence is here to stay, and it's growing, and we need to embrace it. Now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about virtual reality. Virtual reality is the future of developing anything you can imagine. You can construct your own architectural draft, make small changes to your plans as you virtually build them at a little cost compared to the changing the plans during the actual construction. Let me break down the scenario just a little bit further. So now you have this amazing technology right in front of you. You can basically create anything you want, imagine an alternate reality. By taking your imagination, being able to build anything at the cost of the software to build your designs, this is the future of not only construction and inventions, but you can have remote meetings in the office. You can make your workplace anything you can dream. Take yourself to the Bahamas, take yourself to Spain. You want to go sit on Mount Everest? That's your working environment, and you can bring that to you.
Oh my God! Wow!
Now that I've talked to you a little bit how virtual reality kind of works and what you can do with it, I want to bring in 3D printing. Now 3D printing is basically a machine that creates composite items using layers of melted plastic. So picture a hot glue gun. You take a hot glue gun, you put a layer down. You let it dry, you put another layer down. You let it dry, put another layer down. Well, 3D printing is using almost this same technology. This same technology that really opens up your eyes to endless things. We're starting to build more and more things with 3D printing, small parts, big parts, buildings, and it's really exciting. Take your virtual reality design, layout, invention, architectural draft that you've designed, you've gone in, you've adjusted how you like or don't like it. You make little changes before manufacturing. Now you enter this into this 3D printer, and this 3D printer creates it for you. This is the future of construction. We're redesigning the way of life by making the cost of manufacturing go down. We spend more money in places needed, such as the education or training that the workplace needs. It's going to be filled with more knowledge needed to perform the workplace. I'm really excited about what 3D printing is going to do for us. Today I've shown you how technology in 2030 will be. Sometimes the way we look at the future and how the technology is changing, it can be quite frightening. This is a change that we need to make the workplace a little bit more comfortable, and it'll make us enjoy going to work and living out our dreams. The technology of the future has no limits, and it really is up to us to create how we use it. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, 3D printing, it's only the beginning of how technology is growing and changing in our workplace.
My name is Jay Gorton, and I'm going to be talking about the 2030 workplace crisis. In 2030, there's going to be more than 4 generations in the working world, and staff in their 70s and 80s are going to be working alongside people in their 20s. This could either cause a big clash, or it could drive creativity and innovation due to multiple generations combining.
Bo body. What does the first B stand for?
What are we doing?
We're making acronyms. Okay, what does the first B stand for?
Business.
I like it.
As Cameron talked about, the technology is increasing, and it is only going to go higher by 2030, and with that means advances in healthcare, and people are going to be living longer, so the lower generations are going to be trapped in the lower type of jobs, and thus people who have been there longest with the company, the baby boomer generation, will keep their higher up positions because they're not going to get demoted.
Business. Good, Kevin. All right, the O.
We need a new manager.
Baby boomer generation provided a long but temporary surge in labor force growth. Now this group is going to be soon moving into retirement after somewhat 2030, a little after, and the labor force will be slowing. Automation may solve one problem by creating productivity and powering growth, but it creates another by eliminating millions of jobs that could be suppressing wages for many workers. The rise of technology in the 2030 workplace will become more and more prevalent as years go on. McDonald's has already done a great job with installing their self-cashier kiosk things where the customer places their own order, so that means McDonald's won't have to pay for that cashier's shift. With that comes depletion of jobs. The lower and middle class families are expected to be hit the most by this due to these type of jobs don't require too much skill, so that's why robots and automation could be taking it over. By 2030, there will be more than 300 million people aged over 65 than there were in 2014. With this creates a need for doctors, certified nursing assistants, nurses, people just to work in nursing homes, and that will create a huge need for help and work in the medical field.
Old people are the greatest. They're full of wisdom and experience.
But with this could create a big crisis. After the baby boomers pass away, there will be way too many jobs. There could be too many hospitals, too many nursing homes due to the baby boomer generation.
Now double your money and make it stack. On to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next.
My name is Brytan, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the overview of the 2030 workplace. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the layouts of the offices, a little bit of the generations in the office, and lastly, how the generations are going to be working together. So let's get started. Now first, let's talk about the layout of the offices. Not only are youth seeking happiness over money, but study participants reported that a majority of parents now aspire for their children to have happiness over money. With this quote, it gives us a sense as to what the future generations are going to want out of their jobs. People are starting to want happiness, higher quality of places for them to work, and a lot more of an individual approach, with employees working with companies and not for them. Employees are starting to look for places to work with coffee shops, gyms, so that they're less stressed out. Employees are willing to be paid less in the environment if the offices is better suited for them. Companies are not going to have the ability to do cost cutting because if future employees don't feel welcome, they just won't go to that business for their work because they don't feel welcome there. Secondly, I'm going to talk to you guys about how there's going to be more online offices. With the increase in the amount of online work becoming available, comes a lot more flexibility as to when and where people can work. The typical 9 to 5, 5 days a week is just going to be over with and done with. It's not going to be happening anymore. There's going to be a lot more businesses implementing flexible part-time jobs that give people the ability to work when they want at home. They don't have to be at the office. As of 2016, 57% of people put flexibility as one of their top priorities when it comes to choosing a job. And with more and more Gen Ys entering the workplace, this trend is most likely to increase every year because Gen Ys are preferring to have more flexibility. One example of a company making work-life more flexible is Apple. Their recent new headquarters each give their employees their own brand new desk, but they don't have to go to the desk to work. They can work when they want to. They can work at home, at the coffee shop. But with the flexibility comes a lot more responsibility for employees to stay connected to their phones at all times. Because of the internet, more people are going to have to stay connected to work 24 hours a day. So there's going to be a lot less weekends and more working 24 hours, 7 days a week. Now that I've told you what the layout of the offices will look like in 2030, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the generations. By the year 2030, there's going to be a lot of different ages of people working together, from baby boomers at the end of their careers, close to retirement, to millennials fresh out of college, eager to start their careers, ready to make changes in the world of business. This generational mix could lead to either a battle between older generations and younger ones, or it could be a positive tension that leads to positive growth, working harder, or working together with different opinions. Some examples of a tension that would exist between generations are the stereotypes that exist, the method of communication that they prefer, phones, email, working styles, and what they are looking for in a job. For these generations to work together, it is going to take a lot of communication, a lot of extra hours being put in to deal with working with these older or younger generations, and a lot of higher skilled younger workers getting stuck in the lower jobs because the older generation isn't retiring as early as they used to. And with the preferred method of communication comes a lot of advantages for the younger generations. With their preference toward technology, which is a lot faster, a lot easier to use, comes a disadvantage for the older generations with their preference towards face-to-face or email, which is a lot slower and a lot more personal. Owners of businesses might also be choosing older generations because they are choosing to do the more face-to-face compared to the younger generations, which are choosing to do things faster. The 4 generations, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and a lot of effort to work together. But together we can make this workforce a better place. I'm excited to see what the 2030 workplace has in store for us because we're all in this together.
We're all in this together. Once we know that we're all stars and we see that.
Whoa, that was a wild ride. I hope you enjoyed listening. We worked really hard on this presentation, and we will now be taking any of the questions you may have for us right now. Thank you again for listening.
When we stand